So let's get started on this problem. It says a roller coaster starts by ascending 20 feet for every 30 feet it moves forward. The coaster starts at a point 18 feet above the ground. Write the equation of the line that the roller coaster travels along in point-slope form and use it to determine the height of the coaster after traveling 150 feet forward. Assume that the coaster or the roller coaster travels in a straight line for the first 150 feet. Cool, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight key information. I know that this coaster, it's ascending 20 feet for every 30 feet it moves forward. So it moves forward. Okay. Also, the coaster starts at 18 feet. So starts at 18 feet above the ground. And we're going to write an equation. The coaster, after traveling, it travels 150 feet in a straight line. Okay, so here's all the key information. And now I'm going to take all that information and use it to write an equation in point-slope form. So let's just think about this word problem first off, and I'm going to just actually draw a little bit of a picture. So the first things I see here, it's ascending 20 feet for every 30 feet it moves forward. So if this is a roller coaster, it's moving up 20 feet for every 30 feet it moves forward. I'm just going to write that there. 20 feet, it's rising 20 feet for every 30 feet it moves forward. So I can actually think about this information as the rise over the run. So here's my rise over my run, or simply slope. Now wherever this roller coaster starts at, let's just say this is the starting point right here. It starts at 18 feet above the ground. So here's the height. It's 18 feet above the ground. So I could actually think about this point as a coordinate. If it's the starting point, the starting point, how many feet has the roller coaster traveled? It's traveled 0 feet. So I'm going to say the starting point is 0, while its height, in fact, I want to change colors for the height. Its height is 18 feet above the ground. So if this is a coordinate or a point, it's 0, 18. Now I can think of this point as a particular point, so this is going to be x1 for 0, and for y1 it has a height of 18. So here's my x1, y1 point. Cool, so now all I have to do is take this information right here and plug it in to the equation here. So I'm going to change pen colors. In fact, I don't even need this stuff. I'm just going to get rid of it. And now let's write that equation as y minus y1, which is the height is 18, or 18 feet. So I'm going to plug 18 is equal to the slope. Well, that's 20 over 30 here. The rise over the run, 20 over 30 times x minus x1, and x1 is the starting point, which is 0, minus 0. Okay, so now the only thing I want to do is clean up this equation from here. So I'm going to just change colors again. So what could we actually clean up? I'm going to actually rewrite this as y minus 18 is equal to, well, 20 over 30 here, well, that simplifies to 2/3. So 2/3 times x minus 0 here, x minus 0, just, well, that gives me x. I'm left with x, so just 2/3 x. Now I need to take this information. Let's go and see. This is actually part of the problem that I've answered right here. This is the equation in point-slope form. So I've written it in point-slope form. That's part of the answer, but now I need to determine the height of the coaster after traveling 150 feet forward. So I'm going to take this information and plug it in to this equation here. So now we have y minus 18 is equal to 2/3 times x. Or x in this case is going to be 150 feet. And I'm going to just talk about that for a second. Alright, so let's just move this down just a little bit. So the question is, well, if this coaster continues on its path, and we're going to assume it's a straight line, and that it's not going to go up and down and undulate. So we're assuming that this travels along a straight line still. After 150 feet of traveling from the starting point, so after 150 feet, what will the new height be here? So what would be the new height? So we can think of this as, again, our x value followed by our y value, where x represents the distance that the coaster's traveled, and y represents the height. So the height. So y is height again. Now another way of thinking about this is, well, how did you know 150 goes into the x value and not the x1 value? Well, x1 and y1, they're particular points. They're specific points that are given to you, and they're known. Whereas x and y in our point slope equation here, or point slope form, there are unknown values. So x and y are the unknown values that you're trying to find out. Since I don't know the value for y here, I'm trying to I should be looking down at this equation. Since I don't know the value for y, and that's what we're trying to figure out, I'm going to actually plug the 150 for x in this x location. So let's go ahead and work through this problem now. So now to simplify this, I have y minus 18 is equal to, well, 2 times 150 is 300, and divide that by 3, you get 100. So this simplifies to 100. My next step from here, I'm going to add 18 to both sides, and that will help isolate y. And these two will cancel out. I'm left with y is equal to 118. So here I can think of about this as, after the coaster's traveled for 150 feet, the height will be 118 feet. So to finalize my answer here, point slope form would be y minus 18 equals 2/3 x. And after traveling 150 feet, the new height, and my second part of the answer, in fact, I'm going to just erase that and just write it in. 118 feet is the second part to this answer, and I can just box this up here. And that's it. I'll see you in another video.